Hello everyone, welcome to another U534 U-boat video. Well, what's this one about? Well, let's get straight into it and we'll show you. It's all about the various publications that are out there that you can even get yourself or have a look for trying to obtain. I'm going to be looking at some of the magazines that have U534 articles and a lot of interesting photographs, some that I hadn't seen before, and even the German Navy sort of history place over in Germany for the U-boats. They didn't even have one of the pictures that was in this, and it was up till they were updated. I'm also going to be showing some of the actual pamphlets that came from the museum. I have 3 of them. They're quite rare nowadays because a lot of them don't exist anymore. And they're never going to be found and replicated. So they're all original ones I've got. I've got 3 main ones, and they're quite interesting because there's some pictures in these which I don't think are accurate. So we'll talk a bit more about that, and some of them I've actually traced down and found an actual postcard picture of U534 as well, which is quite a rare one, I think. Anyway, some of these magazines you would not think would have a U-boat article in them. I still laugh at some of them, and you'll see why shortly. Anyway, this is after the battle. This was number 83, £2.80. And this is a sort of publication about maybe military aspects of the army, navy, all sorts of stuff. Just giving a bit of insight to all that. So U534 features on page 22, and as you can see, I'm not going to go into every aspect of the publication and start reading it all out, but this is a picture here that the history place in Germany, it deals with the U-boats, didn't have to my understanding, and I got that information from Fix a U-boat team down in Liverpool, or how to fix a U-boat team, which is quite a it's going to make it into a big museum. I was down there maybe about two and a half years ago down at Liverpool, seeing U534 as a special guest. It was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, and the things that they were going to do and bring that U-boat for the tour again looks great. I think we actually bought it for £1 as far as one of the discussions we were having. They bought the U-boat for £1. And it was going to be scrapped. Yes, I don't agree. It was cut up, ridiculous, absolute nonsense. What were they doing? Well, they were doing that because if they didn't, it was going to get scrapped. Can you imagine scrapping that piece of history? Anyway, so that's the picture up here. It's quite interesting as well. It's got the Olympic rings on it. So that's interesting. Could be, could not be, who knows? That's the information I was given. So I've also got a picture here of the Kriegsmarine sailors next to U535 in the background there, interesting. And of course the Liberators up here on the right hand side, and it's a world famous picture of them when they attacked it and basically sunk it there. Great pictures. A lot of reading there, good insight. So the next page we've got is really quite another exciting piece of information. For those who don't know, this is the actual drawing of it based on the sonar detections of what they were looking for. And it shows you the position, and there was also fishing nets caught in it as well. So that was a drawing from the Danish diving report, shows how the U-boat appeared lying in a seabed. That's remarkable. It's the only piece of information I've ever found that in a book or anywhere. It's got a different information here. We've got the pinpointing where it was located and the raising it from the deep, a blank white small picture there down there. Wait to see the centre fold. It's like an old porno mag, isn't it? There we go. That's lovely. A lovely picture. Just look at the rust on that. Look at that conning tower and the gun. It's absolutely destroyed. But that's looking through the cables, size of those cables. Wow, that must have been a fantastic day raising that up. There is videos out there and DVDs about U534. They actually are okay. They're not bad at all. So, see if there's anything else in this. Can't remember. There we go. Yep, this is it. Getting hoisted up, and the salvager. I'm sure that was one of the chaps there. Karsten Ree, he was one of the salvage sponsors. That was him examining something there, and again lifting up with those huge cranes. So there's a whole load of reading in that, and so that's that. So that's after the battle, number 83. Great. So we'll move on to the next one. This is quite comical. I never thought of this, to be honest. Here we have the IPMS, the Journal of International Plastic Modelers Society, and this is issue 297. Now, it's a 1997 publication here. So I seen this on eBay, and it had a very slight mention of U534 only in the numbers in the letter. So I thought it's going to be maybe referring to a paint or a plastic kit or a glue. No, it was actually the submarine, believe it or not. And here we have a story all about it. U534, the 48-year journey, and it's got some fantastic pictures. One of the ones up here is a great picture of it actually on the sort of wooden stilts. And you can see the conning tower still destroyed there, and look how raw that looks. And they were taking forward torpedo loading hatch there, which through which visitors entered the boat. Well, that's great. There we go. I haven't looked at this for a long time, to be honest. More pictures. The deck of the ship, or the U-boat. That's actually getting done as we speak. There was last pictures of how to fix a U-boat. We're putting stuff up about that as well. It was just really badly rusted and whatnot, so it's going to look good hopefully when it's all done. Lots of stuff in that. Interesting here is this is the right base of the U-boat that runs underneath the whole of the hull, and what they found in there was weights, and he actually thought that's where the gold was, the talk of the gold being hidden. And in one of the next publications I've got one of the staff at the time for the museum pointing, I think it's a museum person, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, pointing at these, showing where they thought the gold was. So they did think this was laden with gold, and it wasn't. So that's that. So that's the IPMS issue 297, which is the 97 AGM agenda, and that's a modeller's black and white. Nice publication that as well. Another one. Here we have. Oh, look at this. Steam engines, old vintage, old glory, vintage restoration today. Now, who would have thought you'd have seen a U-boat and something like this? I mean, this is like crazy. So this is from 2000, number 127. And in here, we have Raised from the Depths, but U534 still keeps her secrets. Yes, indeed. Look at that. I mean, just to give you an insight, I mean, I've stood right up next to this massive thing, and honestly, it's huge. It's absolutely humongous. The size of these propellers, the rudders, you need to get down when this place opens up again. It's definitely going to be worth it. Anyway, here we have this is Andy Mahon, points to the keel and ingots, which turned out to be fool's gold indeed. Yes, these were just the weights to give ballast, I believe, possibly. And there he is again. He was a project manager of the Warship Preservation Trust. That's what he was. He's seen aboard U534 at Birkenhead. Fantastic. So, yeah, that gives you an insight there. There's plenty of information to read about it, and I think that's it. Yeah. So that's Old Glory. So that's that. Moving on. We're going to start off with, this is an actual U-boat story from 2014/15. So this is when you last had this. This is 10 years ago. Today's date is February 2024. So, discover an amazing life on board U534. Well, this just looks like a wee basic pamphlet, and it is, but it actually spreads out to give a good bit of information. And there you go, you could pop down and see the U-boat for an adult was £13, and that's including a riverside cruise. But if you wanted to go and see the U-boat story itself, £6.50, bargain. So when we open this up, it just gives a bit more information. And this is an interesting picture. This picture here, I don't think is U534 at all. I think this is some other ship, sorry, other boat. It just doesn't look the same. It doesn't have the same end point on the bow. There's the bow on U534. I've stood at the front. I'll try and put a picture up now with me standing there, and that just is not the same bow. It doesn't have this hole here, or pointed different at the end. So it gives a bit of information. You can read all about that. Seems to show a sort of family orientated experience, which is nice. Nice to learn a wee bit about history, isn't it? So that picture there, definitely I don't think that's it. But if you flip this over, it gives you how to get there, a map, and those guns. Now, actually, at the conning tower, in fact, you actually see them get up there and have a better look. I don't know if that is a conning tower or not, because when I was there, it didn't actually, you couldn't get access, because everyone was in a bit of state, a bit of disrepair, but we were given special access to go in and have a look around. So that was the original U-boat story, and you'll see that emblem there, which features quite a bit down at Birkenhead. The next one, I do like this one. This is quite a high quality pamphlet. Really good pictures at the beginning there. The Enigma machine which they found, which you can see in the display. This is lovely. This gives a real good insight, a better picture of the bomber team that took it out, maps and all sorts. Gives a wee bit of history. More so, you've got all the items that they found as well. The national flag for the time for Nazi Germany at the period of time is on display as you're walking on the right hand side still. And again, this video does not share the Nazi Germany viewpoints. This is only for historical view and education only. It certainly does not share the ideologies, and I do not also. There's a lot of information here about, look at that. I just is what happens. I get taken away with some of these pictures. They are really quite remarkable. There's the gun tower. That was the first one when they were rebuilding it. So that was a detailed view of U534's conning tower after she had arrived at Wirral following the reconstruction back to its original state. And they did a fantastic job, that company. And you've got the U-boat pens in France. You've got the plans for the modified type, similar to U534. Gives you a wee bit of information about that. Maybe not the best on cameras, I'm showing this stuff, but it just gives you a feel of what's about. The Enigma machine again. Get on to how it was getting raised up. And again, there's that picture that we've seen in the magazine. That's the same one. And it goes on to give you more information, stories, and then there's the barge that came over on as well. It's quite remarkable this was saved. It really is. I think they did think there was something on it worthwhile getting, but sadly not. And then that's at the end. It gives you a nice end picture. So that's quite a fitting tribute to these chaps here who brought it down. Remarkable. Anyway, let's see what else we can find. Last one coming up. It's quite a big one actually, this one. It's an A4, the size of this. U-boat story. It's got this sort of, again, the emblem. I don't know when this was made. Let me see. It doesn't tell me. When this publication's from, but this is quite a unique one. Again, I've seen this and I managed to get it. Can't remember if it was a job lot or not, or single buy. Anyway, it's really good quality. And Lee Garlick gives a really good picture of the aircraft that took the picture when it was getting attacked. More history, again, about Kriegsmarine, the story of it all. Captain, is it Nola, I believe his name is, that's him on the right hand side there. Sorry for getting reflection in this, guys, and it's maybe not the best, but this is the best I can do. I believe that Captain took his own life after this. Who knows what secrets and information he could have relayed. And then again, we've got some of the artefacts found and what it was doing. It was for weather patrols, so that gives a good history. Now, this is interesting. This picture here, wartime photograph of U534 on patrol. And I thought, that doesn't look right. Number one, that picture's badly cropped. There's more of that to be seen, I'm sure. It's very grainy, you're not going to see much. And then I thought, is that a snorkel? If that's a snorkel, am I looking at it from the left or from the right? And I thought, I don't think this. I think this is wrong. I think this is back to front. I think it's reversed. Has to be. So there was one afternoon I was just going through the many internet sale sites and I seen an original postcard. Let me show you this. So I'll try and get that to sit there for a minute. And I found it. I got this from Germany. Came from a seller, and there we go. So this indeed was cropped, and it indeed has been reversed, as you can see. Now, as far as I'm aware, based upon information I can see, that there may very well have been a snorkel on this. If not, it'd be good to know otherwise, but I'm not an expert, but I do have an interest in U-boats. So what we're looking at here is certainly when flipped over, for sure. But yeah, so that was interesting to find that, to verify as well. So that's U534. Yeah, nice find that. So continuing on, it gives us a huge insight to one similar. This map of plans. It seems to be a thing that flows through many of these publications, and then it gives us some of the artifacts. Now this is great. I mean, some of these stuff, let me just check. I have actually physically handled. I've been quite privileged. This dog up here, handled that along with probably some other artifacts as well. The dog, believe it or not, was thought to have been, I don't know if I can show you that a bit closer there, that dog there. It's a wooden dog. These were meant to believe to be mascots of the U-boat, and they were given over when, I believe, when the boats were leaving. There's a public, I think I made a video about that. You can check my channel anyway and see. The gun, they sort of replicated the conning tower here, and they actually put the real wood that came from the conning tower and put it in there under perspex cases. It's amazing. It's just these wee bits of detail. Again, lifting it up, getting it sorted, and there's part of it as when it was all cut up. Yep. And then again, we've got some of the artifacts here as well, which were still there actually. There was artifacts all displayed, and that's probably a good picture of an overview of the actual what it looks like at the moment. And then what's going to happen is this is still going to be here, and they're going to change it all so it's more accessible to the public. One of the things which is interesting I did hear about when I was down was they were going to look at lasering internally the parts of it all to clean it. But one of the biggest problems, which has always been, even to till today, well, still today, is the asbestos risk. There was asbestos in the U-boats, and they had to go in and do asbestos teams to go in and clear out any asbestos risk as well. Which when I was down there, that was taking up a lot of time. They just finished doing that, I believe, when I was down a couple of years ago. Yeah, so that gives us a U-boat story. Some of these publications are nice to find. Hope you enjoyed this. Just a simple overview of an interest that I have, and I'd like to share some of the stuff in case it's of use to others and interest. So stay tuned. No doubt there'll be more 534 videos coming. I like to make them as when I have maybe some artifacts, some restoring, or there's other things out there that we come across. But certainly when this museum opens up within the next, I think, hopefully probably 2 years' time, it's going to be phenomenal, and that'll be a great talking point. Bye for now.